Hi
Good
guys.
evening. Good evening. How are we all doing? This is Adnan from LPA Properties. And yet again, I've got the charismatic Mr. Lakhi Singh, the property fixer himself. How are you, Lucky, this evening?
I'm a bit tired today. I think I might have overdone it on the exercise front this weekend. So I
Yeah.
wasn't really doing doing a live today, but literally I had to force myself to be there and be the fixer because if the fixer can't be there, can't fix himself, how's he going to help anybody else?
Indeed. And I was about to say as well, what a coincidence that twice in a row now, when Liverpool Football Club play, we've had these live call sessions. So I'm going to try and keep it as brief and sweet as possible for all the Liverpool fans out there so they can enjoy Liverpool winning 1-0 against Wolves. Lucky.
Congratulations. By the way,
Oh,
I've
thank
got
you.
a shout out from John Smith and also from Berhan Noor, Mandy, and Richard Fay is asking, Lucky, did you win the hockey? So maybe you could.
Did you win the hockey?
Um, I think I won the hockey because I managed to attend, and I think I probably had one of the best hockey matches for a long time because my fitness is getting a bit better.
Yeah.
But we did lose 3-1 in what people normally look at the numbers. I just looking at my fitness, but it was quite an amazing match. No big injuries, only a couple of injuries. Just like got a ball smashed in my hand just there, so this is a bit swollen up now.
Wow.
And,
Okay.
but that's the fun of it, actually having a few injuries there and there, getting the body actually to be able to fight.
Well, like you said before, you're the fixer. So if you can't handle these little knocks in your life, how can you help other people out there with their little problems?
Exactly. So,
Right now, Lucky. There have been some interesting topics going on. What last week? Let's start with one of them first of all, and that's to do with the vaccine news that's come out. That obviously that should prevent all this COVID virus pandemic spreading. A lot of people are acting very positive now. In your opinion, right now, is this going to benefit the current market as it stands, or is it still a negative from your point of view?
well, what's going to happen is that the market still has got issues because there's £1 trillion worth of money that's been pumped into the UK economy by the government,
Mhm.
and they're still predicting 2 years worth of stagnant economy. So I think we're still due for a correction by middle of next year, especially in London.
Yeah,
I don't think prices will continue the way they are. The government may try to tinker with that, but I think the likelihood of interest rates going up is very high.
yeah,
But either way, I think if you play your cards right and the market does tighten in certain places like London, it's a great opportunity for those people that are cashed up. But I think the other reason that the market may tighten is that a lot of banks are being ultra conservative in terms of money lending,
Mhm.
and if they're not really lending the money, then I can't really see prices going up that easily because they're slowing down the whole purchase process
Yeah.
because of COVID-19. They haven't got enough staff. I think land registry is being very slow. Surveyors are surveilling properties down, so things aren't really looking as rosy as one might want, especially if you're an estate agent, probably wanting to talk the prop market up. But I think things will tighten.
Okay, but it's funny that you mentioned about the finance side of things right now. I had a contact or a buyer who is looking to remortgage a property. Now, she recently got a mortgage quote, but they aren't offering her fixed rate anymore. So they offered a fixed rate back in April, just after obviously lockdown happened. Now, when she went for, let's say, a new mortgage rate, they came back with a discounted rate, but still a variable. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you're going to be really careful because if interest rates do go up, which we're predicting,
Yeah.
then and you haven't got enough of a backup in terms of able to cover, let's just say, very high interest rates like they went up in 1988. I think expect the unexpected in this market. I've got a comment here from Richard Fay who's saying, kudos to Lakhi, I think that's about the hockey. Saying, hopefully not interest rates, maybe 2%. So what you're saying is that they may go up a couple of percent. And the thing is that a couple of percent is quite a lot for the UK economy, especially because it's been hit by Brexit. It's got a double dip recession now. It's got the COVID-19 rollout of the vaccine, which I think is going to take time to actually really get, let's just say, injected into the economy, so to speak. So I think it's a little while, at least 6 months, a year, for them to actually be able to hit 65 million people with a solution.
Yeah, but I mean, do you reckon by, let's say, March of 21, things should be looking a bit, let's say, healthier in many respects?
Well, what's going to happen, I think, is that a lot of the hospitality industry, or because the vaccine, a lot of industries that are reliant upon traffic, are probably going to start seeing a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel now because of the vaccine. But I think a lot of the economy in general is going to become more subdued because of the overspill of the money spent in the lockdown.
Yeah.
So that's my view. I think Richard Fay is saying stress test to 6%. But in terms of percentages, it could be a couple of percent, it could be 6, it could be a lot more. I think you just have to be really extra careful of what you're doing. But Lakhi Singh, the property fixer, is here to look at whatever you're doing and give you an opinion, actually help you manage your risk. So whether you're trying to sell something, you're looking to buy something, looking to raise a loan, you're looking for business finance, whatever is it that you're trying to do, we're there to sort of be in the background to give you the alternative way of looking at what you're doing.
Brilliant. But you're lucky as well. I mean, like going back to obviously the property industry right now. I mean, it came out obviously in the news that Rishi Sunak is going to increase the stamp duty holiday for a further 6 months. I mean, I know there's a lot of backlogs going on right now, where a lot of estate agents, even ourselves, that we've got a lot of backlogs in our own deals. Is that something wise right now? I mean, is that actually an attraction still to carry on the way we are in sales?
Well, to be honest with you, everything's dependent upon individual situations. So if the property market goes up, there'll be people that will benefit. Property market tightens in London or crashes up to a point, then there'll be winners and losers. If COVID-19 vaccine gets implemented in the next, let's say, at the earliest in the next 3 months to 50% of the population, say, and they're very proactive in doing it, that in itself will have a massive boost in terms of a certain impact. It'll probably give a feel-good factor to people. So quite a lot to think about, really. I think we are in, we are in very interesting times. So this is history. I think 2020 and 1920, there 100 years later, there's not much differences between the two because there's a pandemic as it happens 100 years ago. I think in 1918. And now we've got a pandemic literally 100 years later. So there's a lot of commonalities of what happened then. And I think people like Rockefeller and Rothschilds, these sort of very, very, very ultra high net families now, at that time, got all their money together to start buying because they knew that there's going to be a massive crash in the market. So a lot of the talk of the town is that the market will tighten by April June, July next year.
Really?
And Richard Fay saying, "Look on the bright side, Lakhi. Be lucky."
Well said, mate. Well said.
Richard, I think we're going to get you on the show. Richard, you need to tell us a bit more about what you do. I think we're going to get Richard to tell the jokes, actually. So I think we're already 16 minutes in. We've got a few more minutes. And I think I'm waning now. I need to probably drink some water and get my beauty sleep, I think.
Okay, but before you do that, Lakhi, there's obviously another topic that I was wanted to cover with you. And obviously it's not related to the UK market as such. It's more related to our brothers and sisters, obviously in India. Apparently there has been a law that's been passed in India, and it sort of I think it allows certain corporations to take over bits of land. What's your take on that? I mean, is that really fair on the farmers? And
so basically, this is probably a bit politically. It's a huge. Well, I think it's politically correct, but Mr. Modi is actually quite right wing. He's very anti a lot of religious factions, including the Muslims and the Sikhs. And I think there's a huge, let's just say, power play of Modi and the press that are trying to suppress a lot of, let's say, the middle India, poor India, you could call it, and trying to literally confiscate plots of land for corporations. So it's actually corruption at its worst, in my opinion. So I think my dad's actually donated 20,000 rupees to actually help farmers to actually go and protest. So there's a massive blockade for the last few days in Delhi, where all the farmers across India, not just Punjab, have gone into protest. And there was a massive rally in London today. I'm putting a lot of news item out, well, information out on that as well, about really what's going on over there. So that's why I've been wearing the slightly different turbans, the greenish one, and on which is more what the farmers in India actually wear to keep off the sun. So Richard Fay is saying, Richard is actually quite good on the commentary, saying dirty politics. Yeah, I think politics of the worst kind, sort of corporations trying to eat up the common man. I mean, underdeveloped countries or third world countries, I suppose, like in India, is to be expected. And there's a lot of backhanded work that goes on, but I think it's quite common in the Western world as well. Actually, if you start watching some of the movies about people like what's his name, George Bush, Dick Cheney, Hoover, the FBI. So there's a lot of corruption that happens in the background. But I think because of the way the laws are written, especially in the United Kingdom, they'll disclose things to you 25 years after the event. So you only find out what really happened. But by that time, most people either have actually lost interest or not really tied up the dots, because it's no longer press that's actually in your face. So a lot of information is every 25 years, 25 years later, about what might be happening even now. And then you only find the reality of what's going on behind government after 25 years. And I think it's probably not even as open as that in other countries. You may not even hear anything in China or India or something. So, I think it's the common person that suffers, actually. So it's quite a cruel world, actually. A lot of people, my heart sort of goes out to people that in India, not just Punjab, but the rest, all the regions, because you've got one of the largest populaces in the world, actually, in India, how they're going to survive.
Well, again, I think you brought up a very valid point there. It's the common man that always suffers. It doesn't matter which part of the world you're from. It could be from UK, USA, it could be in Europe, India, China. the common folk always suffer when there's something like this going to happen. So unfortunately, that's the way dirty politics is.
So I think like to send out some prayers and wish the best to the farmers. I think a lot of there's a huge international outcry about what's happening. So from nearly every nation in the world, and I think hopefully there will be some sort of embargoes or political pressure from the wealthier Asians that have left India many years ago to probably give some sort of I don't know, some sort of push for the government not to be so right wing in what they're doing. Actually, it's completely ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, what can we do? We're like the average persons ourselves, so unfortunately, it is what it is. And
we have to have the intention to fix every problem now.
well, with you, Lakhi, anything is possible. I'm sure we can fix a lot of issues for a lot of people out there. But I think we'll cut this one short for today, Lakhi, as well, and I'll let you recover as well from your long days today with hockey. Guys, thank you very much for taking part and obviously listening in today. I'm going to get back to my Liverpool game. Lakhi will go and relax and rest up now for tomorrow, as we've got a busy week ahead of us. So thank you once again, and have a lovely rest of the weekend, and look forward to catching up next week. Lakhi, thank you very much, mate.
Take care, Adnan. Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.